Well, welcome back to another Coffee and a Chat. It's been a minute since I've been on here. Life keeps happening, and I don't know how to stop that, and why would you want to? So, I've been really tied up into some things that I've had going on, but some of that is kind of easing up right now. So I'm thankful for that, and I just had a moment I needed to take a little break. I'm all, normal. But I'm back in the garden. I am so excited about that. My grandson is helping me because I still have some mobility issues, but he's helping me do what I'm doing. So he's learning gardening this year, and so that hopefully he can feed himself in life. That is getting more and more important. So anyway, it feels good. Going to be back out there in a little bit. Marvin and Averell have taken a load of stuff that we are shedding to donation, and I just thought, I'm taking this quick break. I just want to talk to you about that for a minute. So, as I've said on here before, there's life changes, and as we get older, there are things I can't do anymore that 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, I could do. And there's been some challenges that I've had physically, and Marvin has too. Not that he'll admit it. He still thinks he's 36, so God bless him. I love that man. Anyway, been trying to make some adaptations to life. How's that? Trying to adapt to the changes and make things better. So we have been downsizing and cleaning out. So I've been doing some deep cleaning, some heavy duty, what goes, what stays, what gets donated, what goes to the trash, and trying to make life simpler and a little bit more manageable. And so that's become really important. I've been shipping boxes off to different kids and grandkids and nieces and nephews and stuff as I come across things that I would like handed down when I'm gone. And, it's like, why do we wait till we're going to die, and then, maybe something people are going to fight over, or maybe they're just going to haul it off to the dump anyway, or whatever. And I thought, what? I want to, since I'm shedding things anyway, there's a lot of these things that I can let go of now, and I can pass them on and tell them about the family history. And actually, it's so far been being received pretty well. And I'm still alive, so I can answer whatever questions I can answer and tell them why this has been in our family for a couple hundred years, because we don't throw anything away. I'm starting a new trend. But I've been having fun doing that, and just passing things along. I sent a package recently to one of my granddaughters, to Paige, and I put in it one of my favorite necklaces. And there's just something about it that just feels like Paige to me. And so I thought, I want to give it to her because I don't really wear much jewelry anymore or anything anyway. And so I passed it on to her and sent it in a box of stuff to her. And she sent me back a picture of her wearing the necklace. And I thought, see, if that was something that waited till I died, I would never have had the pleasure of that moment, and that I have that picture now of her wearing my necklace, and it looks so good on her. That necklace was made for her. So those kinds of things, it's like, I think we sometimes gyp ourselves of things, and we try to hang on to too much. And when I first started this journey, and I won't speak for Marvin, but I think he's had some of the same experiences, is Marvin and I both are very sentimental people. And we like having our family history around us and stuff, but there's just so much. And when we die, there's a good chance it would just all be lost anyway. So as I've been doing this, in the beginning, it was hard to really can I really let this go and all? And so I started asking myself some questions. Like, at this point in life, I need whatever I have in my home. It needs to have a purpose. It needs to be helping make life easier for me, or, it needs to serve some kind of purpose. If it just sits there to be looked at and dusted off and maintained in that way, okay, because let me tell you, I've got hours and hours worth of things that are, all they do is just sit there and need to be dusted, so hours and hours of dusting each week that can be done. And it's like, I can't keep up with all of it. So I have to go, is this something that I'm really that attached to now that it's worth the time it takes to just keep the dust off of it when it's just sitting there to be stared at? And I found like a lot of things, if it's been in one place for, a lot of years, I kind of don't even notice it anymore. And I'm like, something I look at every day, and as I'm, dusting it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, So it's like, okay, those things, they need to go. And I've been taking stuff off walls and cleaning walls, and then when I go to put stuff back, like do we really need all these things? Because I'm the kind of person that I'll hang things on walls, and my feeling is, if you can still tell what color the paint is, I don't have enough things on the wall. So yeah, but that's a lot, again, just dusting, and you don't even notice it after a while. So I'm just keeping the really important things, and there's a lot of stuff, it's just not that big a deal, it's just taking up space. I'm letting that go. I'm also finding things that are broken and I was going to repair type thing, and they're really kind of beyond repair, so I've retired those to go to the landfill. And yeah, I'm going through things and shedding a lot. So they took the truck is full and the trailer's full. Now he said he could have got more things on there, but I think it's a good load. And it's like just almost a whole room worth of stuff in a normal room, but our rooms are too full. So as I watched that stuff pull out of the driveway, this is what I'm experiencing now more and more, is I can breathe a little more. It's one less thing that I have to manage. Now today, one of the things that went is we have this big sectional that's an overstuffed, comfy, sink in it, take a long nap, watch TV, whatever kind of a sectional sofa that Marvin and we picked it up used several years ago, and we have definitely got our money's worth out of it. And there's memories with that couch. Marvin and I both had the flu one year, and we were sick for almost a full month, and we lived on that couch because it's so big, there's plenty of room for both of us to lay down, and we just played on the TV that was in that room. We just played worship music like 24 hours a day for almost a full month, and just hung on there. I mean, we were sick, very, very sick. And, and all we had was each other, because even if somebody wanted to come in and take care of us, I wouldn't have let them, because I would not have wanted anybody else to, to get the flu. Not like that. And we'd had this flu before, a few years earlier than that. And so when it hit us, we knew. We knew what was coming. We knew we'd feel like we were going to die, but we'd live. We'd be okay. And we have so many memories of just existing on that couch for almost a month, but it was the right place for us and everything. So, and it's a pretty big room. It's what was my mom and dad's living room. It's pretty large, and so it could accommodate that couch no problem. But here's the thing, it's gotten more comfy over the years, and you sink in a little more, and trying to get up off that couch has become almost impossible for me. I mean, I was stacking pillows to sit on so that I could actually, when it was time to get up and get off that couch. And even then, sitting on them pillows was not comfortable. And and Marvin started having more and more of a struggle. And it's like, you know what? It's time to let this go, because we cannot comfortably sit here. And all I did was find myself avoiding the couch and saying, we're gonna have to bring a different chair in here that I can sit in and all. And it's like, time to let it go. And so it's moved on, and somebody else is going to love it now, and it's going to be a great couch for them. And it felt good. It felt good to let it go. Some extra lamps that have been sitting around because there was no place really that we needed them, and it's like, let them go. I'm done storing things. And then we've got, we each collect different things, and we've gone through our collections. And instead of keeping all the things, we picked out 2 or 3 of our favorite pieces and let the rest go, because that's more manageable for us. And I just want you to know that this is feeling good. In the beginning, it didn't. In the beginning, I didn't know, and we've got a lot more to go. But in the beginning, I didn't know, can I do this? Because I'm so attached to stuff. Well, I'm letting go of my attachment. And every day, it's a little bit easier to do the things I need to do in the house, because there's a little bit less to take care of. So I'm even downsizing how many dishes we have. Why do we really need this cupboard so full of all these plates? There's only 3 of us in the house. We very seldom have anybody else over. And when we do, we don't need that many plates. So I've even been downsizing that. And it ends up being less dishes to do, because we keep up with them more, so we have something to eat off of. So I'm starting to love this. So I just wanted to share this with you, because I saw this woman's house the other day, and she's a collector. She is not a hoarder. Her house is perfect. It's spotless, but they're big rooms in her house, and every single room, I kid you not, every single room is filled with, she collects dolls, with these dolls in these glass case stuff. There are shelves on every wall, across the top of every door and every window, and they're all full. So of these dolls, and then little houses and things that, like those ceramic houses that she collects. And then her husband collects old, little model cars, and he's got those in a few places. It's mainly her stuff. And it's just thousands and thousands and thousands of little things that's what she does every day, is she's going around dusting and keeping everything just perfect. And, her house looks like a dollhouse. And she now is going to have to move. And I'm like looking at this thinking, how is she going to pack all this stuff up? Like, how is she going to do it? And, she started, but she likes her stuff out, and even just putting it in a box to move is kind of, I think, overwhelming for her. And, and she's got a lot of hours. I hope she's got friends and family that are going to help her, because I don't know how she's going to get it done. So, I looked at that, and I'm like going, yeah, I don't want to be living that way, because here's the thing. She and her husband are older, like Marvin and I. And even though people are like, they don't ever want anybody to die, it's inevitable. We are all going to die. And, and I've talked about this before, and I've had really some positive response from you guys that Marvin and I, we talk about it. And we were just talking about it again yesterday, a notebook that we need to put together about some specific things, because, if Marvin goes before me, I'm going to be pretty devastated, until I adjust to it, and I'll always miss him. But like, we're a team. And if he's suddenly pulled out of that, not even death. What if there was a serious illness or injury or something, and then I suddenly have to take care of stuff on my own? There's things I don't even know what to do. And he's the same way, and so some things we've already made provision for. Okay, here's what you do and all. But we're like, we need to put this in a notebook, because Marvin's like, if you were to die first, I'm not going to have a clue what to do, and all I'm going to be thinking about is how much I miss you, and crying and grieving. And so we need a notebook that says, here, first thing, call this person and give them this number to take care of this thing. We need it detailed so we could just go through our tears through the book of what to do. And so that's, another one of our goals. And every time we haul things out of this house, we're like, well, that's one less thing we have to worry about what to do with it. So, but the other thing is, when you're gone, somebody else has to come in and start cleaning all that out. And I've had to go in and clean out after when somebody died. And then try to figure out where things are, like where's the will, where are the keys to the lock boxes, where are, what's the combination to the safe, are these guns registered? There's so many things that have to be dealt with. And do you really want to leave that burden to your kids and grandkids to try to sort through it? No, I don't. I would rather have the majority of it already taken care of and everything kind of made simple so that it's not some overwhelming situation for somebody else, because I've been overwhelmed with what somebody else has left for me to take care of when they were gone. So this has been motivating a lot of these things, and like when I see this other woman's house and thinking, yeah, it's cute. It's not really me, but it's cute, and and she's got all these things and all these stories, and it makes her happy, and that's great, okay? But it would be too much for me. So I don't want to live that way. And I want to simplify and get things down. The furniture that I have in my house, I want it to be comfortable to sit on. And I want to be able to stand up after I've been sitting on it and not be stuck trying to figure out how am I getting out of this chair or off this couch. So it's making me really more mindful about stuff as I declutter and simplify and make things more manageable and more honestly enjoyable to exist within my own home. Now, everything's always got to tie to something else, right? It's making me think about other things in my life. It's about how I live my life spiritually. Do I devote as much time as I want to my spiritual being fed and growth and spending time with the Lord? No, I want more time for that. So I want more time for that. So that means I've got to let go of some other things so that I can have that time, free it up to have more time to do things that really feed my spirit and my soul. And that time with the Lord, spending that time with Jesus, that's precious to me. That's what's really important. So I'm thinking about that. How much time, I know my grandson, one day we had this discussion about how we spend our time. And I said, it's kind of like food. When you're getting food, when you're looking at nutrition, there are some foods that we just call them empty calorie foods. There's nothing in it that does us any good. Oh, we might enjoy eating it or whatever, but it's really not healthy for us. It's not gaining anything. And, and if we were just to live on that kind of stuff, we wouldn't have a very good quality of life. And so we want to find, a non-calorie, empty calorie food, for a treat once in a while. If you want to, that's fine. But you want to make sure that you're eating nutrient-dense foods that are real food and whole food and not processed, and, to really get the good nutrition. That's what you want the majority of what you're eating to be. Well, it's really that way with our time, too. There are empty calorie things that we do in life, like just watching TV to be watching it, or getting lost on our phone on social media. And there's a lot of empty calories. It really doesn't gain us a whole lot. Now, not necessarily, there are things, I love YouTube, obviously. Here I have a channel, and I hope that there is value that people find in my channel. There are definite channels that I go to. Just the other day, I wanted to know how to do something with some cooking I was doing, and and I was like, well, I wonder how would you do that, if I was going to make this from scratch or do it myself, how would I do it? And so put it in YouTube, and sure enough, here comes up this video, and it's like, oh, that's so easy, I can do that. So it's like, all right. And, so I gained some knowledge and am gaining a new skill, which I may share with you someday if I feel I've really got it mastered. But, I do want to keep learning. I do want to keep growing and keeping my mind active and keeping my body moving to the best of its ability. I want to do these things. And so sometimes that social media does help me with that. But then, I got caught in this thing watching, cute little dog tricks and stuff, and just little shorts after another. And pretty soon it's like, whoa, do you see what time it is? What happened? That's the kind of stuff that I want to change that in my life, where I'm not just being mindless about stuff. I want to be more mindful. And so this shedding or purging of things is actually helping me in my own personal life too, emotionally and spiritually and mentally and physically, rethink some of the things I do and what things do I do that really don't serve a purpose, and how can I be better organized so that I can get things taken care of. I mean, I was watching this one video about gardening, about some stuff in the garden, okay? And this person said that they always get out in the morning and just spend 30 minutes in their garden every day. And then it's just not a big job, and they get it done before the heat of the day sets on, and and all this stuff. And I'm like going, that's really smart, because a lot of times I'm pushing it off until the afternoon. And if I went out in the morning, and when it was still cool, because it's feeling like we might have a really hot summer again, and air conditioning at the price of electricity is probably going to be off the table most of the summer. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I manage this? Okay, so if I go out in the cool of the day in the morning, spend 30 minutes or so, and when Averill and I went out yesterday, and we're going to do it again today. It's just a little later in the day because they're hauling this stuff off, but it's not a hot day. So when they get back, he and I are going to go out in the garden. And I don't even think it was a full 30 minutes, but I'm like, even if we just plant one row every day, and deal with that row, and then I've got the greenhouse and and the strawberry bed and my raised bed, I've got these other places too, and then one of those things. So we went out, we planted a row in the garden, and I don't think he'd ever done anything like that before. And he's like, that really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. That was pretty quick. And I go, well, yeah, with two of us. And, and I was able to do a lot more physically than I thought I was going to be able to. So that was awesome. And then I go, okay, now let's go to the greenhouse. I've got one thing that I want to do in there. So we went there, took care of that one thing, called it a day. The hardest part was because my water spigot that's near where my ground garden is, has a little issue that Marvin needs to fix. And so I had to haul a hose from another spigot. We had to go a pretty long distance. And so that took up the most time, was hauling that hose to the garden and then winding it back up when we were done. And so that Marvin can mow. So that was the worst part of the whole thing. And it really was no big deal. And then I still had plenty of time to do the other things I needed to do in the day. So I'm like going, okay, so this works. So today we'll go out, we'll plant one row, and we'll go to the strawberry bed today, and I'll harvest some weeds out of it, and we'll pull the others, because there's some stuff growing in my strawberry bed that is good medicine. So that I'm going to go ahead and harvest, because that's a great place to harvest from. And then the rest will, that we, isn't stuff that I use, we'll just pull it out. The garden bed, okay, our strawberry bed is like 3 foot off the ground. It's a very raised bed, so it's really easy for me to get in there and weed, because I don't have to bend over and stuff. And so that usually, Marvin and I, when we go weed, it takes us maybe 10 minutes and it's done. And so that will be our other garden thing that we'll do today, and it's just like getting in this rhythm and establishing these habits that will help me be able to keep up with stuff, not taking on such a big thing at once, but even just doing a little. It's like if I only go through one cupboard a day, or one piece of furniture a day, or however, as I'm downsizing, pretty quick, I've made a lot of headway. So I just wanted to share this part of what's going on in my life with you, because you might find something to benefit there. What is going on in your life? How do you spend your time? Are you being as effective as you could be? And is your life really, are you living your life in a way that is pleasing? I mean, in the midst of all of this, one of the biggest things that God is teaching me is how to rest. I am terrible at resting. Marvin is terrible at resting. And we're great at working to exhaustion and passing out, but we don't know how to rest. And the Lord is teaching me, because I've gone to him and said, I need to know how to rest. I know it's necessary. You created me this way, so teach me. And part of learning to rest is making a more relaxed, restful enjoyable environment to exist in. So I just wanted to just say hi to you guys, see how you're doing, let you know I'm still alive, still kicking, and just maybe challenge you in doing a little bit of an self-evaluation. Is there something that maybe would make your life better, more enjoyable, more pleasurable, more restful? As the world outside my home gets more and more hectic, I need the calm, peace, and joy in my home more and more. And I'm getting it. So, all right. I guess that will do it for now. And I'm sure I've got another video coming up real soon. I may make another one yet today and put it up, tomorrow. Of just things that God's showing me, and because my relationship with Him is thriving, and that's what I want. I thrive when my relationship with Jesus thrives. Okay, I love you guys. I have missed you, and hopefully as things kind of settle down, I'm going to be able to get back on here, because I would like to be able to get my life situated in such a way that I can get back on here every day. All right, I love you. I will talk to you later. And I do have my coffee cup here, but you see it's Christmas, and you know what that means. Somebody needs to do the dishes, so I guess I'll go do that. All right, love you guys. Talk to you later.